What is up, everyone? Once again, it's Innovation Yu-Gi-Oh here, bringing you guys the 10 overhyped Yu-Gi-Oh cards that flopped. Last week, I bring you guys 10 overhyped Yu-Gi-Oh decks that flopped, and the video did pretty well. So this week, I'm gonna bring you guys 10 overhyped Yu-Gi-Oh cards that flopped. But you guys know the drill. Smash that like button. Today's goal is 200 likes. If we get 200 likes, I'll cut off my wrist, my foot, and everything else you guys want me to cut on camera, live stream, hashtag no clickbait. To get these likes, I'm thirsty for these likes. But in all seriousness though, yeah man, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It took some research to do because I had to look through the history of cards that I felt was really hyped, and then when they were released, they were like duds. Also, one thing, so you guys already know, I announced last month's giveaway winner, which was a Fernando Bahena. If I don't hear anything from you, bro, by Thursday, on this video or on the giveaway video, I'm just gonna do another round. I'm just gonna do a new raffle off and call a new name by Thursday. I don't want to be mean, but I'm trying to get this mat sent out because I'm tired of looking at it. Alright guys, let's look into it. Starting off with number 10, Tour Bus from the Underworld. Now, Tour Bus from the Underworld, it was definitely an overhyped card in my personal opinion. Effect pretty much reads, when this card is sent to the graveyard, target one monster in the player's graveyard, except Tour Bus from the Underworld, shift that target into the deck. Now, this was looked at to be the target for Tour Guide in Underworld back in the Tour Guide of the Underworld's prime, when she was at 3 back in the wind-up format. People were talking about all crap and crazy combos on how in the wind-up deck it can help you recycle your hunter and do your wind-up loose shenanigans. And when it released out, people played it and thought it was okay, but at the end of it all, it just really went down to people just running Sangan because Sangan was, of course, the better choice. Some people try to run 2, but everyone agreed that Tour Bus was definitely a dud because it just wasn't that powerful. So with that being said, Tour Bus of the Underworld, or from the Underworld rather, had to make this list because I definitely believe it was overhyped because everyone thought the card was going to be better than what it actually was. But this is the number 9. Sea Monster of Theseus. Now this is probably going to be the most popular card on this list. And as you guys already know, my top 10 lists are not in any specific order or rank. I just list the cards, put them on a PowerPoint, and just give it to you guys straight, raw, and uncut. Sea Monster of Theseus was supposed to be, according to Konami, the best thing since sliced bread. They were hyping the heck out of it on their forums, on their Facebook page. It's going to be the best monster 2017. And when it came out, we got a zombie fusion tuner who's an instant fusion target. It requires 2 tuners to make. Attack stats are whack. It's a level 5, so it can make that dragon. I can't think of the name right now, picture it on the screen. But Lynx killed that playability of it. I mean, overall, the card winded up flopping. I mean, I guess the big takeaway, since it was zombie, you could probably run instant fusion in your zombie deck and then bring it back with that the zombie monster reborn card that banishes out of opponent's graveyard. But outside of zombie decks, honestly, this card is pretty trash. It only really sees play in Spirals, and that was pre-Double Helix. Now it barely sees play in that deck. So for those reasons alone, I had to make this number 9 because it was definitely hype. Mainly due to Konami, they were just teasing us for the longest, and then when the card came out, it was a total dud. Number 8. Supply Squad. Now, I definitely remember this card a lot. I believe it was really popular in the OCG at one point, which is why I got hyped a lot for the TCG. Effect pretty much read once per turn if a monster you control is destroyed by battle by card effect, draw a card. People were talking about smashing 3 copies of this and Burning Abyss, and the whole idea was, or everyone's thought process was, well, you play the Supply Squad, play a BA monster, they pop a BA monster, you search, you draw a card from Supply Squad. Oh my god, it's so broken. Then when it came down to it, Supply Squad was trash. It was too slow. Key general rule of thumb for Yu-Gi-Oh: if a card requires another card to be good, 9 times out of 10 it's trash. Which Supply Squad is trash. It did say some playing some casual decks, and I'm pretty sure it won people some games out with locals. But for the most part, you can open up double copies of these going first. You can play them on your opponent. They're just like, okay, I just want to attack your monster till I draw MST, and nowadays Twin Twister. So with that being said, it had to make this list number 8 because super hyped at this time, and for good reason. It's a draw card, but when people realized how slow it was, it definitely went back to the trade binder. Coming to number 7, Lightning Vortex. Now this is probably for the old school retro players like me, 15 plus years into the game. Actually 16 plus years into the game. Just turned 28 on the 7th, so happy birthday to me. But in all seriousness though, man, Lightning Vortex, man, I remember back when I was like 13, 14, when this card was on the release, everyone was hyping the heck out of this card back in the day. Now this is pre-YouTube era, mind you. People were saying this is gonna be the next Regeki, how it's so good. I mean, one card, discarding one card ain't that bad. It reminded people of that one monster. Oh my god, I'm so bad with names right now, but the one monster that was really popular back in the day. We picked a card, called a type, and then blows it forward. People were comparing it to all type of different things. Lightning Vortex came out, and guess what? It was trash. Same thing with every other card on this list. We tried it, they realized it wasn't that good. It was just all hype. And nowadays, it kind of see playability. Back in the day, discarding one card in your hand was huge because we didn't have decks that just plussed out of nowhere for no reason, like Burning Abyss. Nowadays, in decks like Spiral, you can afford to discard a card in your hand with no problem. You won't miss that card. And half the time when you discard a card in your hand, it actually helps extend your plays. So with that being said, on release, Lightning Vortex was trash. Now it's just okay, but then again, board wiping in Yu-Gi-Oh is not that relevant anyway because it doesn't do much. And sometimes it's seen as a one-more card. Number 6. Blue Eyes Chaos Maxx. Now I might get some dislikes for this, I don't care. You guys cannot tell me this card was not overhyped. Everyone, based off the OCG results, thought this deck was going to be good in the TCG, and guess what? It flopped. People still play it, but it's trash. It's too slow. They may still game at locals, if that. But on the competitive circuit, it doesn't do much. And yeah, it's a solid card. I mean, he cannot be targeted, destroyed. He tramples. It's good on paper. But rituals, unless you're named Necros, are generally bad in Yu-Gi-Oh! And or unless you're named the Herald of Perfection deck. But even that deck by today's standard is considered trash. So with that being said, Blue Eyes Chaos Maxx Dragon was definitely a hyped card for its time, and now it's just seeing no play whatsoever. The standard Blue Eyes deck without Chaos Maxx is 10 times better. And even in the LCG, they figured out that the standard was better. I guess people just played this card because of the movie and all the hype around the movie. Number 5, Mistaken Arrest. Now, I had to do some research on this when I saw Nim did a video about it, so shout out to Nim. I'm gonna give him his credit for that. So yeah, Mistaken Arrest is definitely a card. I remember at the time people thought it was gonna be good, but after testing, it was okay. People used it at me on locals, and it kind of beat me at times. But overall, throughout the formats, Mistake was better. That one other card that was similar to this, the one that allows you to draw a card, can't think of the name right now. That was better. I mean, it was just better options for Mistaken Arrest. And once again, this is another thing of people taking stuff out of the OCG and thinking it's gonna be working in TCG. And sometimes it's just those small differences between the two metas make the huge difference between playability. Because technically, OCG and TCG play a different game, but that's neither here nor there. Mistaken Arrest had to make it on this list because definitely overhyped. People thought it was really expensive, and then it just died down. And people ran it here and there, but it was, at the time, it was one of those cards like if you didn't have the other cards, you run this card. Number 4, number 74 Mass Blaze, another card I stole from Nim. Shout out to him, good channel. During each player's turn, when a card effect is activated that targets this face-up card, you can attach one XYZ material from this card and get the activation to destroy that target. Then you destroy one card in the field. Now, I remember this card on release was super hype. People were picking them up. People were buying them out. Well, not really buying. People weren't really doing buyouts like that back then. But people were getting their pre-orders in. Hell, I even got mine in. And when the card came out to be released, it was just so subpar to things like Draco Sack and Big Eye. Yes, I ran it in my I believe I ran it in whatever deck I was running back then. Oh yeah, it was in my gadget deck. I tested it out and I ran it. It just wasn't that good. 2800 wasn't much. I mean, against a deck like me, I was running Machina Gadgets back then. It did help negate my Machina Fortress, but at the same time, people could just, dark hole you and you won't get your Fortress back. But it's neither here nor there. Other than beating roll decks, this card was not played. I mean, the meta was Dragon Rulers, Fire Fist, and etc. So with that being said, Master Blaze was definitely an overhyped card, which is why it got on this as number 4. Coming to number 3, and before I get to number 3, I'm gonna say the last 3 cards. These were all kind of was anime related, not really. Well, I'll just get to cards. Number 3, Egyptian God Cards. Now, You guys probably say, well, Chris, well, this is a competitive Yu-Gi-Oh channel, etc., etc. Why are the God cards on this list? Well, back when I was a child, everyone couldn't wait for the official effects of the religion, Egyptian God cards, to be released. And when they came out, people did play with these cards based off of nostalgia, and they were really hyped. The most played one was Obelisk and the Frog decks. He actually did some damage, but even then, he didn't get past regionals tops. I believe somebody topped the YCS with the Obelisk. Correct me if I'm wrong. But Slifer and Ra definitely was overhyped. People thought they were going to be good. People were hoping these cards were going to be great. Cards came out. People tested them out, and they were trash. Slifer had potential. I remember a buddy of mine back when we were in high school made a solid deck with Slifer, but it was nowhere near regionals or YCS level competitive. And Obelisk, like I said, while it was decent, there were better cards to run in the Frog deck. It was just one of those gimmick cards that you ran that was kind of good, and anything else would have been better. But it's like one of those things where it's like, you have your deck and you have a play to make. No matter what card you play for that specific play, you're going to be good regardless, and that's what Obelisk pretty much came out to be. So with that being said, Egyptian God cards definitely overhyped. People waited since their childhoods to get these full effects. Then full effects came out, people were hyped to play them, and when they played them, they realized they were trash. Number 2, Orichalcos. Now, this card, outside of being a childhood favorite, people were waiting forever for this card to be a real thing. People thought the card was pretty solid, and I don't blame them. The card is kind of solid. All monsters you control gain 500 attack power once per turn. This card cannot be destroyed by card effects. While you control 2 or more face attack position monsters, your opponent can target your monster's lowest attack from an attack. If this card is activated, destroy all special monsters you control. You cannot special summon a monster from the extra deck. You can only activate once per duel. So the card on paper sounds good, and people already had established decks like anti-meta decks and etc. for it, beat down decks. So people did test this card out, and it did receive a lot of hype before it was released and people read the effect. But once again, once we got it, it was a dud. Unfortunately, I love the Orichalcos arc from Yu-Gi-Oh! One of my favorite arcs from the original series. And, to see this card being the way it is, it was like, if they did not stop you from using your extra deck, not gonna lie, this card would have been OP. But with that being said, man, Orichalcos, definitely overhyped, and it turned out to be a dud. I mean, it's good for casual, fun decks, but outside of that, just don't run it, stay away from it, because the card will give you guys a headache and you will lose. And now the last 2 cards is going to be super nostalgia, so prepare to hate. Number 1, it's a tie for Blue Eyes and Dark Magician. Now, this is specifically for the people who started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Back in 2002 when I was young. I was 12 years old. Everyone and their mother, who was before locals was even a thing, thought Blue Eyes, White Dragon, and Dark Magician was going to be the hottest cards. People played them together from their starter decks, and people took them to locals like your boy here, right here. And when we went to locals with our Blue Eyes, White Dragons, and our Dark Magicians, we realized, oh crap, these cards take 2 tributes. And we went up against people using 1-sack monsters like Summon Skull, Genzos, and etc. And we had to face the harsh reality that these cards were too slow, and we took them out of our decks. So we couldn't live out our childhood dreams for saying White Lightning and Dark Magic Attack. So these cards are definitely overhyped, definitely nostalgic, and they had been listed at number 1 for that specific reason alone. All nostalgia. And technically the last 3, number 1, number 2, number 3 was all pretty much nostalgia hype, which is why they're on this list. So, with all that being said, man, post your thoughts and opinions about this list in the comments section down below. There are overhyped Yu-Gi-Oh cards that you guys wish would have been on this list that flopped, that wasn't on this list. Also, I want to hear about those in the comment section down below. Subscribe if you haven't, man. This is Innovation Yugioh, and I'm signing out. Peace and stay innovative. Deuces.